Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our today's lecture is about OCPs, oral contraceptive pills, and its abbreviated is usually more used. Well, they are simple facts which you people should know, and these are related to community medicine more probably. World's population is expected to reach 9 billion by 2015, but I guess this fact is changed due to corona pandemic nowadays. And Pakistan accounts approximately 3% of world's population, and over here maternal mortality rate is 178 deaths per 100,000 live births. And contraceptive prevalence is currently 34.2%, and it is committed in UNICEF by Pakistan to reach it by 55% in 2020. Half of the pregnancies each year in Pakistan are unplanned. 54% of the unplanned pregnancies end in termination and abortions. If unmet need for contraception was met, we can avoid unwanted pregnancy and maternal deaths, as maternal health is of great importance. Look what happens when married couples do not use contraceptions. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dr. Nilofer Yusuf Waraj, Assistant Professor, Department of Pharmacology from Akhtar Said Medical and Dental College. Today's learning objectives of our lecture will be: what is contraception? You people should have much concept of contraception. What are different types of contraceptions? Usually used term OCP stands for what? Classification, different preparations and the combination of pills, the mechanisms, uses, advantages, adverse effects, contraindications, and of course the newer methods, as you are new generation and you should be aware of the new methods coming into the market after advancement of the science. You can find enough material from your textbook, Big Gadsden of Pharmacology, Lippincott, and I would suggest make your concepts clear today and try to make yourself notes. That would be really helpful by the end of the day. Question arises, what is contraception? Just take a second and think, what really is contraception? Or you have heard some other word for instead of contraception. Yes, it's birth control. Birth control, also known as contraception and fertility control. It is a method or device used to prevent pregnancy. Contraception, we can say it is a deliberate use of artificial methods, not natural. Artificial methods or other techniques to prevent pregnancy as a consequence of coitus. As we discussed before, in Pakistan currently only 35% couples are using any birth control method. It is called contraceptive prevalence rate or CPR. It has made a commitment in UNICEF to raise this rate to 50% by 2020. In the picture at your right side, you can see different methods and different devices used for contraception. Well, the major forms of artificial contraception are barrier methods. It is a method which is most commonly used. Then there comes the contraceptive pills. They are hormones which prevent ovulation in the females, and intrauterine devices. What they do, they prevent the fertilization of ovum, and they are implanted in the uterus of a female. And now a new trend is coming, and that is sterilization of both male and females. What are different types of contraception? Of course, as we discussed before, they are hormonal or non-hormonal, like barrier methods. Considering just according to chemicals, ignoring that barrier method, they are hormonal. They can be combined preparations of estrogen or progestins, or single preparations of on either estrogen or progestin. And there are various non-hormonal methods for both females and males. After listening all these things, a question arises in the minds that how do they really work? Well, what they do, they inhibit the ovulation. They produce static endometrial hypoplasia. How? By creating stromal edema, residual reactions, regression of glands, resulting into endometrium non-receptive to the embryo. As you can see in this picture, how healthy uterus looks, and after hypoplasia, what it happens, it in the what we'll say ideal conditions for conception declines. They alter the character of cervical mucus. They make it thick, viscid, scanty, that prevents sperm penetration. They interfere with tubal motility, and what they do, alter tubal transport. Here are various mechanisms summarized in a picture very beautifully. You can see that there is delay ovum sperm transport. Then there is unfavorable endometrium conditions for implantation. And what is there? They are inhibiting ovulation. And lastly, there is cervical mucus thickening. Now OCPs. OCP stands for oral contraceptive pills, and this picture showing different brands of different OCPs or contraceptive pills. Well, what are OCPs? They are hormonal preparations used for reversible separation of fertility. Mostly they are used for female contraception, but not ring exchanging. Male hormones are also being given to the males for contraception, and only a few for male contraceptives, but still there are. There are two main types of oral contraceptives. They are combinations of estrogen with the progesterone or progestogen alone. Here comes the classification, and it is very important. It is very important to memorize for journal use. Once you, inshallah, once you will be future doctors, and from the examination point of view, it is very, very, very important. Same thing is repeating again and again, that there is combined estrogen and progestin therapy. They are divided into three combinations: monophasic, biphasic, and triphasic. Whereas comes the progestin only pills or therapy, that is continuous progestin therapy in the form of tablets or in the form of implantable progestin preparations. They can be capsules that are implanted in the body amperturally, or they can be intrauterine devices, or they can be simple injections. They can be anything. Or now, of course, there is a more trend of dermal patches too. Injectable long-acting depot preparations. Here comes the injections that can we implant in armpits and the dermal patches. Well, these are male contraceptions: testosterone, gossypol, cyproterone acetate, and it is very important, university MCQ or one-line question also come over from here. Cyproterone acetate. We have discussed so many so many options. हम ये भी दे सकते हैं, ये भी दे सकते हैं. What if a patient comes and she don't want a baby or she want contraception? How a doctor will decide? Just think as a doctor, if a lady comes for contraception, what will be your next step? Of course, you will take complete history and do her general physical examination. What points you will cover? You will take the history of headache, migraine, amenorrhea, or any family history of breast cancer. Then comes the breast examination. You will look for any lump or then pelvic examination and its health, and you will rule out pregnancy, and then you will do cervical cytology and look for the smear for any abnormal cytology or presence of abnormal cells. Then here are the pills you may suggest. They are pills. These contain estrogen and progesterone. As we discussed below, they are monophasic, they are biphasic and triphasic. Monophasic में क्या हो रहा है जी? They are combination pills, estrogen and progestin in fixed doses. They are given for 21 days. Remember the first picture in the title slide. That are actually combination pills. Given for 21 days starting on the 5th day of menstruation, and next course is started after 7 days. What happens in biphasic? First phase is from day 1 to 10, and the other phase starts from day 11 to day 21, and there is 7 days gap before the next course of estrogen content. Over here, estrogen content is kept constant, whereas progestin content is increased in second phase. क्या हो रहा है जी? फर्स्ट फेज में एस्ट्रोजन कंटेंट कांस्टेंट है, प्रोजेस्टिन कंटेंट भी है, नो डाउट. सेकेंड फेज में क्या हो रहा है? 11 to 21 डेज में एस्ट्रोजन उतना ही रहेगा और हम प्रोजेस्टेरॉन इंक्रीज कर देंगे. नाउ कम्स द ट्राइफेजिक रेजिमेन. First phase consists of 1 to 6 days. From 7 to 14 days, we label it as second phase, and then comes the 15 to 21 1 days, and then gap of 7 days. Look, all of these is 21 days regimens. Before the next course, estrogen content is kept constant, like we did in second biphasic regimens, and progestin content is increased in second phase and further increased in third phase. There are many pills. They are actually progestin only pills, as we have discussed below. They are low dose progesterones given continuously without gap. However, we look back, there was 7 days gap over there, and they are used in women in which estrogen is unsuitable or they cannot tolerate the adverse effects of estrogen. Third generation combination pills. First generation में क्या हो रहा है? Estrogen content is high, progesterone is norethistérone. Whereas in second generation, estrogen content is low, whereas progesterone is mainly levonorgestrel. Carefully look at these figures. They may come in your MCQs in the end. Third generation में क्या हो रहा है? Progesterone are those newer drugs with the least androgenic effects like desogestrel, gestodine, and gestimate. The combined pill. The combined pill contains an estrogen and progesterone. It is taken for 21 consecutive days out of 28. How do they work? What is their mode of action? The estrogen inhibits follicle stimulating hormone release and therefore follicle development. Progesterone inhibits luteinizing hormone release and therefore ovulation and makes cervical mucus inhospitable for sperm. These are just repetition of previously discussed things. Now अलग से आपको बताया जा रहा है estrogen, how estrogen is working and how progesterone is working. Together they render the endometrium unsuitable for implantation. There are several beneficial effects, not least the avoidance of unwanted pregnancy, which itself carries risks to health. Main drawbacks are weight gain, nausea, mood changes, and skin pigmentation. There may be serious unwanted effects, but they are of course rare. A small proportion of women develop reversible hypertension, very small proportion. There is evidence both for and against an increased risk of breast cancer. There is increased risk of thromboembolism, especially with third generation pills जिसमें कौन सी थी, newer forms of progesterones थी. The progesterone only pill is taken continuously, differs from the combined pill in that contraceptive effect is less reliable and is mainly a result of alteration of cervical mucus. Progesterone only pill, if we use progesterone only pill, there will be irregular bleeding. Other drug regimens used for contraception are postcoital contraception, commonly used and misused, I must say. Long-acting progesterone only contraceptions, like they are devices now, Mirena, they are intrauterine devices, and they are having a good supply of progesterone in them. Postcoital emergency contraception, इसको ECP भी कहा जाता है, and it is available in markets from Sub-Sahara. Oral administration of levonorgestrel alone or combined with estrogen, effective if taken within 72 hours of unprotected coitus and repeated 12 hours later. Nausea and vomiting are common and the pills may be lost. If we have to replace the tablet, so we have to give antiemetic with it, that is domperidone. Insertion of an intrauterine device is more effective than hormonal methods. Of course, we cannot say that it is lost during vomiting or such thing. Coming back to intrauterine device, we were saying that they are more effective than hormonal methods and works up to 5 days after coitus, and they are like this. You can see a T-tube is inserted into uterus. There comes long-acting progesterone-only contraceptions. The main chemical is medroxyprogesterone, and it can be given intramuscularly as a contraceptive. This is effective and safe. However, menstrual irregularities are common, and infertility may persist for many months from cessation of treatment. There are levonorgestrel implanted subcutaneously in non-biodegradable capsules, which I said you armpit पे हम implant कर देते हैं, is used by approximately 3 million women worldwide. This route of administration avoids first-pass metabolism. The capsules release their progesterone content slowly over 5 years. Irregular bleeding and headaches are common. A levonorgestrel impregnated intrauterine device has contraceptive action for 35 years to 55 years, but mostly what gynecologists say here in Pakistan, it is for 5 to 10 years. Uses of oral contraceptives, they are used for contraceptions, they are used for polycystic ovarian syndrome, dysfunctional uterine bleeding, also known as DUB, endometriosis, dysmenorrhea, premature menopause, and Turner syndrome. And there are other uses, non-contraceptive benefits of combined oral contraceptive pills, and they are used for menstrual benefits, less the menstrual blood loss, less iron deficiency, lower incidence of menorrhagia, dysmenorrhea, and premenstrual syndromes. What they do, they lower the incidence of benign breast disease, endometrial cancers, ovarian cyst, and ovarian cancer. They protect against pelvic inflammatory diseases. They decrease risk of tubal pregnancy because of an ovulation. And here I want to mention that tubal pregnancies leading to ectopic pregnancies or maternal deaths, that is very much common with ECP 72 hours pill. Adverse effects, of course we are going against nature. Adverse effects तो होंगे. They are divided into mild, moderate, and severe. Here I want to tell you students, this is very important question. कुछ और आए या ना आए, यहाँ से आपको SEQ जरूर आता है. Question comes like this: unless the mild, moderate, and severe effects of OCPs, or it may come enumerate unless Adverse effects according to severity of OCPs. Let's see, it's very important you may memorize these slides by heart. I try to cover most of the things in these slides. Well, what happens? Mild adverse effects are nausea, mestalgia, breakthrough bleeding, and edema. These are actually estrogen effects. So we may decrease amount of estrogen, or we may shift the patient into the only progesterones. Mild headache but migraine is made worse. Sometimes withdrawal fails to occur, especially with combination therapy leading to confusion in pregnancy. There is withdrawal bleeding. There is menstrual-like bleeding when a woman takes contraceptive pills. A drop in progesterone level triggers the bleeding. Then comes moderate adverse effects. There is breakthrough bleeding, weight gain, increased pigmentation, acne, hirsutism, vaginal infections, amenorrhea, and glucose intolerance. Then comes severe adverse effects, and it is very, very important. There are major severe adverse effects. Vascular disorders happen, such as venous thrombotic diseases, myocardial infarctions, cerebrovascular diseases. There are GIT disorders such as cholestatic jaundice, cholecystitis, cholangitis, hepatic adenocarcinoma. So they should be avoided, or they are contraindicated in patients with hepatic diseases. It occurs, they lead to ischemic heart diseases, depression, and various cancers. There must be alopecia, erythema nodosum, erythema multiforme, and skin diseases. When and where OCPs are contraindicated? In pregnancy, they are contraindicated estrogen-dependent cancers, cardiovascular diseases, uterine fibroids, adolescents in whom epiphyseal closure has not yet completed, sphere of focal migraine, long-standing diabetes, hyperlipidemia, and active liver disease. That's why I told you before that whenever you have to prescribe a contraceptive pill or contraception method to a patient, you should take detailed history, and I hope it is much practiced in your medical wards. There are various drug interactions of OCPs, especially with antimicrobials. Their efficacy is being decreased. Enzyme inducers क्या करते हैं? They diminish the efficacy of oral contraceptives, and enzyme inhibitors increase the efficacy of oral contraceptive pills and may lead to further adverse effects. These are the conditions. If happen, you have to withdraw the OCP, or you have to stop the usage of OCP. Severe migraine, visual or speech disturbances, sudden chest pain, unexplained fainting attack or acute vertigo, severe leg cramps, excessive weight gain, severe depression, of course prior to surgery, and if a patient wants pregnancy. Here comes new contraceptives. I don't have much time to explain each other newer contraception, but it is important for you or mandatory for you to know, as you are new generation and trends are changing. It was practiced before that only females were used to take contraceptive measures, but now males are also very much into this thing to try new contraceptive methods. Just have a slight glance. Here comes the reason. Should we block sperm at the source rather than implementing dangerous contraceptives inside women's body? Yes, women's body are using hormones. They are just hazardous to our bodies, to the ladies. They are hormones. Okay? They are leading to adverse effects. So I guess it is more important to block sperm. There are different methods, and we don't even know what methods are being used in this world for contraceptions. Gossypol, these are male contraceptive measures. Let's see, Gossypol. Then there are polyurethane male condoms, gonadotropin releasing hormone analogs. Then there are different male hormonal contraception under research, such as Depo-Provera in combination with testosterone implants. Then come reversible inhibition of sperm under guidance and basal gel. Intravas device SHAG. There are devices inserted into each vas, but it's need a surgical skill and it's still under wider trials. Then there is Heath method. Temperature is increased and temperature of the testis is increased, which has large negative impact on the production of sperms, thus leading to contraception. Then comes artificial cryptorchidism, यहाँ suspensories होती है, gender rosa. Nifedipine calcium channel blockers can also be used for contraception, but I must say they may lead to misuse as well. Calcium channel blockers also partially block the calcium channels within the cell membranes of sperm. This affects sperm function rather than production. A man taking nifedipine produces a normal amount of sperm, and the sperm pair function when viewed through a microscope, but in vitro tests show that these sperms cannot fertilize an egg. Now there are male vaccinations under studies and being used for contraception, and there are various ongoing trials going on: neem extracts, retinoid receptor antagonists, papaya seed extracts, or other things. Now comes the female new researches. Many researchers are going on for development of new contraceptives for females, which are either non-hormonal or having low dose of estrogen and new progesterones to avoid their hazardous effects. Now there are also trend of condoms, but not so much women's condom. Then there are diaphragms used. Then there is a new drug, Sancroman or meloxifene, and they are used in DUB, dysfunctional uterine bleeding, endometrial hyperplasia, endometriosis, breast cancer or HRTs, and of course there are injectable contraceptives. They transdermal delivery systems, as I told you before, in their vaginal rings. And uniplants, just like uterine tubes, they are just a single rod or a single tube, like IUCDs, and they are inserted within the uterus, and they are rods. They are biodegradable capsules. I just told you before that a capsule is implanted through a stitch in your armpit, and they are biodegradable, dissolves itself, and they are injectables. And there are various types of gynae-fix, IUDs, frameless IUD, gynae-fix, and pellets used for contraceptions now. And this is a thing, gynae-fix, and it is also a new method. And this is how it is implanted in our uterus. So this was our lecture. I hope start of the lecture was interested, but the passage of time, newer contraceptives which were not so much in detail, but because your allocated time by UH is given less to it, so we can't discuss them in detail, but you have to read them. It's for your own good. Now comes assignment time, and you people have to enlist and enumerate the mild, moderate, and severe adverse effects of oral contraceptive pills. And you may submit this assignment in your practical time before 2 o'clock. Okay? Now hurry up and do your work. Thank you so much. If there are any questions, you are more than welcome to ask me, whether in WhatsApp group or at my email address. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.